Here we go, they are here. So my topic today will be how to find a suitable BI setup and also, most importantly, how to make it work in reality. My name is Hermanns. I've been, here we go. Here we go. My name is Hermanns. I have been practicing business intelligence in various fintech startups past 5 years. And I started off my career in Rocket Internet Bay11. Then I continued in advising various FinLib startups in the financial technology field, where I helped them to set up business intelligence departments. And currently I'm leading the BI team in Solaris Bank, which is one of the most exciting fintech startups here in Berlin, I believe. I was listed this year Forbes 30 under 30 in finance, and also with a bunch of really cool BI experts. We started a BI Berlin roundtable, which basically is a small group gathering every now and then, and we are talking about the hottest BI topics. Feel free to connect with me via LinkedIn afterwards in order to share experiences about business intelligence, ask any questions that you have about today's talk, and also you will find me around after this talk, and we can have bilateral chats as well. A little bit about Solaris Bank, since many of my examples are from there. So Solaris Bank we want to say about ourselves that we are a tech company with a banking license. What does it essentially mean? We are German, we have a full German banking license that we received in March 2016. But our services, our products are API endpoints. So basically we are providing to our customers and to our partners different API endpoints so that they can offer financial services or banking related services. So one of the examples, one of our many partners is, for instance, AutoScout, which is an e-commerce platform exchanging used cars. And earlier this year, we partnered up with them so that they could offer credit services on their platform on top of their normal exchange service on the e-commerce platform. So basically, to extend the product offering. We are also doing digital banking. We're offering cards. We are payments and all the other areas. So basically, many people have also said that we are kind of like an app store for the banking services. Today, we are around 130 employees, many different nationalities, headquartered here in Berlin, closed around 40 million in financing. We expect to be live around with over 50 partners by end of the year, servicing over 2 million end customers. It's quite an exciting company to be part of. In Solaris Bank, I joined quite very early on. So I joined, I think, in summer 2016, so it was just after the company was actually launched. And I had an opportunity to actually build up the business intelligence team and the functionality completely from the scratch. And I did a lot of learnings from there. I tried to make things better, what I had learned from my peers' experiences, but basically that's why my talk today will be also about how to find the perfect or suitable BI setup for your organization and how to make sure that it's also working in the reality. So first of all, my talk will be in 3 different parts. So first of all, it's very, very important to define the expectations for the business intelligence functionality and the department that you want to build up. The second thing, which is very important, is to think about, based on the expectations, what is the tooling that you need to have in place. I will give you a quite an interesting idea or simple framework that I have been using myself in the past. And finally, but most importantly, how to make sure that there is a data culture existing in your organization. So regarding the definitions, BI is quite a central function, and it can be seen mostly as a support function. And you can get lost because it's very easy to be just a support department for one of that more traditional departments such as marketing or finance. But the most value from BI is actually coming if you are a completely central department and you're offering your services for the whole organization. Then I was thinking about it, what could be the main questions that you can ask from your company in order to think about expectations that you want to use in order to build up your BI capabilities. So the first question would be for the functions themselves. So what are the main KPIs that they need to use in order to manage their functions better? When I joined Solaris Bank, that's exactly what I did. So I went to functions and I asked about the KPIs that they would need in order to manage their departments and their activities better. It was a little bit early because we only had one partner live with limited amount of data, but at the same time, it helped me to understand how data-driven is the organization, and also how can I support them in the future, and what would they need in order to get the support for. Next question would be for the tech. How much would they like to contribute in setting up the business intelligence infrastructure? I'm traditionally very used to be quite independent and build up the whole BI architecture myself, so from the source systems to actually do the insights. But very often, or sometimes, the technology wants to play a bigger part because of the regulation issues, or because they just simply have more interest in this. And that will help you also think about the capabilities that you need to build in your team. The third thing is to the management. Where the BI is located in the org chart, does it have any meaning for that? I'm in a firm belief that business intelligence should be completely central function and support all the different stakeholders, no matter where it's located in the org chart. In different companies, it might mean different things. So it's important to understand what is the focus of your department. Then another question to the management would be, what is their need in order to manage the company better? So what are the KPIs that they would need in order to actually make relevant decisions, in order to understand better about the company? And lastly, think about the data amount as well. So what is the amount of data that is existing in the organization? What is expected to exist in the organization? Can I even do any statistical regression analysis in the future? Or is it just merely going to be descriptive analytics and making data available? So answers to those questions will already give you the first ideas how to set up your business intelligence and how to basically, what it means for your organization. And then it's important, or that's something I see as very important, is to think about the vision for your team. So where does business intelligence want to go to? And think about the milestones, think about goals and priorities in order to make sure that you are making BI as a success story. The vision that I have been leading my team with in Solaris Bank is BI should be a cross-functional department, supporting all Solaris Bank stakeholders and making the use of the data as a core competency in the company. It's very generic. You can copy it down if you want, and it also works because that helps us to think about the way where we're going, and it's also always a good argumentation to go further. Next thing is that business intelligence is also evolving over time. So over time, we're becoming better, we have more complexity, etc. I borrowed this graph from Gartner, where they are putting in two axes, they're putting a difficulty and value. The difficulty could also equal to time if you expect your BI team to grow and become more intelligent over time. And Gartner is basically showing how to make first the data available and then therefore helping the organization until using the data really to optimize your business. And there are 4 different steps. So first thing would be descriptive analytics. So what did happen? So these are all the dashboards in your company walls and making data visible and available for all the different departments. The next one would be drilling down into this to look at why did things happen? What were the different variables that actually affected the organization? Third of all, you can use data in order to predict things, in order to forecast the future, what will happen. And last but not least, it's prescriptive analytics in order to really optimize your tasks, monitor what is happening in the morning, and then making decisions based on that in the evening. In Solaris Bank, we are around in the middle. It has been quite a journey to get there. We have dashboards available for all different stakeholders. We're getting more intelligent and more deeper into this, but it's also quite a journey to go forward and onto the prescriptive analytics. So once you have these ideas established, you know what to expect, you have analyzed yourself where you're actually currently located and you know where to go, you can think about the tooling. So what is the different tooling that we would need in the organization? It's funny that so nowadays it's so easy when we are just at the dinner table and we're asking questions a la, can pregnant women eat feta cheese? Versus when we're in the company meetings and then we have questions, which product should we focus on? What should we put the most impact on? And that's exactly what BI should be providing the company with. So insights into understanding or giving answers to the most burning questions for the management. And in order to do that, we need to have a good infrastructure in place. I have drafted here something very, very generic for business intelligence. So basically, we have a bunch of source systems, and we want to get the data out of it in order to provide operational reports or certain visualizations, insights for different departments in the companies. In a very traditional way, there is a storage system in between, so you're collecting all your source systems to your data warehouse, and from there, you're giving it over to, or basically you're connecting it to the visualization tools, or just Excel graphs, why not as well, in order to make it more operationally available, the data. So therefore, the tools that you need to select is, first of all, the ETLs in order to extract, transform, and load the data, so to make connections between the different data sources and data warehouse, and also your visualization tools. Then you're looking for, I have two more numbers, oh yeah. So then you're looking for storage, where to store the data, and also what is the programming language that you're using. And finally, also the end product, so where you're showing your end products. One of the really great decision tools that I have actually taken over from the management classes and applied it all over in my life is simple scorecard method. I even use simple scorecard method in order to decide if I'm moving to Berlin or not. So it's quite powerful, has worked so far, but basically also has worked for past 3 times when I have had to think about the tooling setup, or will be using also in the future when I'm thinking about what tools to use for business intelligence. So basically, there are 3 different things to consider here. So first of all, you need to think about the tools that you want to consider. So whatever you have heard, learned, I use it in the other hand, works better. Yeah. So basically, different tools that you have heard, like you want to actually consider for your analytics. Second thing is the criteria that you know that is important for you and for your organization. And third of all is just evaluate and just giving points in the scale, let's say 1 to 3 or 1 to 5. The game is very simple. The tool with the highest number of points wins. But also, not always, of course, but it's a very, very good way to actually tell this to your management. Why do you need this very expensive tool in place? Because it has all those different capabilities, or other way around, think about the strengths and weaknesses. Very, very powerful tool. Once you have the tooling in place, once you have the infrastructure in place, I really like this quote myself, because if you have a really cool infrastructure, you have invested a lot of money, time, and effort into getting your data in place, you have thought everything through, but you haven't been able to create a data culture in your organization, then basically the return on investment is very, very low. So you have invested a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort, but actually nobody's really using the data. And it happens in many, many organizations, unfortunately. So it's very important to actually have the culture, the data culture in place in the organization. So I would like to give you a couple of tips that I have taken over for myself, I'm still working on, that have worked, and I believe that will work also in every other organization. So first of all, now it's faster than before. So first of all, employees must be data literate. So employees in your organization need to understand, okay. So employees in your organization need to understand about the data. So why is data needed? What is the data needed in their organizations? And what do different data elements mean? Very, very inspiring example is from Facebook. So Facebook is sending all their new employees during their onboarding session for 2-week data bootcamp, where they're learning everything about their 40,000 different data tables, and they're also thinking about the ideas how to actually use them in order to make it more available. So that's very, very inspiring. The second thing is, easy-to-use data infrastructure that I was talking before should be in place. So basically, if you have a really good infrastructure in place, then it's very easy to actually make the queries and also make the data available. Also make sure that the people in the teams or in the organization are able to access the data that has been made available in committee meetings, in management meetings, etc. The third thing is that I have listed out here, that there is a data dictionary should be in place in the company. So everyone in the company should be talking in the same language. So if you're talking about active customers in marketing department, then it has to mean the same thing in the product department. So it's really, really important to get the organization aligned and get the organization in the same mindset of what is developed. And also data dictionary is very often something that the BI team is actually responsible for and can influence it very much. The next thing is that data must be part of every important discussion decision. And you can use data very, very effectively in different decisions. For instance, Dominic Gore in Aruba Network, so he said that in our meetings, we're not taking anything offline. So everything that is in the agenda, we have to be able to answer. And very often, for the decisions that you're not able to make, you are just looking at the dashboards, you are seeing the data already tells you a lot of points. It's better to make it not maybe so positive or not so maybe good decision, but rather than not making any decisions. A next point is that BI should not become a bottleneck. So imagine if somebody's coming to you, they're expecting to have the data and you're actually not able to deliver. So you have to make sure that your infrastructure is working in a way that there are no big delays and that you're able to actually give the answers to the company. And last but not least, curiosity should be rewarded. So data is very, very powerful because it doesn't matter how much experience you have. If you're curious about certain questions, you're looking it up from the data, you're getting different answers, then also the experience doesn't matter anymore. So basically everyone in the company can come up with really extremely good ideas. Maybe the last point here about developing a data culture that has helped me a lot personally, what we did in Solaris Bank in the beginning was that I got a really strong management buy-in, and also they said that business intelligence is the single source of truth. So if anyone wants to have answers to their most important business questions, then this should come through business intelligence. So and that also empowered us quite a lot in the organization and gave us a really good starting point from there. So these were my thoughts today. Just to summarize, the last 20 minutes I have been talking to you. So first of all, it's very important to think about expectations for your business intelligence team. I gave you some ideas, what are the different questions you can ask for the teams. Secondly, I introduced you the graph about how the business intelligence could, or the analytics department basically could develop over time. Thirdly, we spoke about a very easy framework, how to select the tools that will be in place. And finally, elements of the data culture in the organization. So that's something that everyone should definitely focus on very much, and sometimes takes also a lot of time. So I want to say thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of the conference, and don't forget to connect if you have more questions, or just let's grab a coffee afterwards.